You've been carrying something all your life that wasn't meant to be carried. It's heavy, invisible, and it keeps stealing your joy. Not because life is against you, but because your heart is holding the wrong things. Let me show you how to take the weight off, reclaim your heart, and live free again. We're drawing from Reclaim Your Heart by Yasmin Mogahed, a powerful, clear book about why we suffer, where we place our trust, and how to find lasting peace. At the heart of Chapter 1 is a single, game-changing idea. Much of what keeps us wounded isn't what happens to us. It's where we've placed our attachments. When we hold gifts in the heart instead of in the hand, every loss feels like death. But when we learn to replace those things, to hold them correctly, we begin to heal. Imagine every blessing in your life as an object you can carry. There are two pockets, the hand and the heart. The hand holds gifts, jobs, relationships, titles. You use them, you cherish them, but you don't build your identity on them. The heart is for what gives life meaning, your core values, your sense of purpose, your sense of who you are when everything else is gone. When you put a gift in your hand, it can leave and you will grieve, but you won't collapse. When you put that same gift inside your heart, it becomes your identity. You start measuring your worth, your safety, and your future by it. Then one loss doesn't feel like disappointment, it feels like annihilation. This is the central idea the author hammers home. Love what you have, but don't make your soul dependent on it. Hold gifts lightly. Reserve the heart for what cannot be taken away. Attachment begins as desire. Desire becomes dependency. Dependency becomes addiction. You think you want comfort, company, approval, but somewhere along the line you hand those wants the keys to your inner life. You perform, you people please, you stay where you're not valued. The author shows how this slow surrender looks. Constant checking, anxious bargaining, shrinking yourself so the object of attachment won't leave. Make no mistake, attachments aren't inherently evil. They become dangerous when they're treated as indispensable. The cure is not to stop caring. It's to change where you place your ultimate trust. Pain is the signal, not the sentence. When something breaks you, it reveals the exact place your heart has been misplaced. If a breakup feels like the end of you, ask, what part of me was invested so deeply in this person that their absence amounts to identity loss? If a job loss sends you into crisis, ask, did you confuse work for worth? The author reframes pain as mercy disguised in a hard package. Pain strips the false anchors so you can see the true ones. It's brutal, yes, but it's also the wake-up call that forces honest repair. Detachment is not apathy. Detachment is clarity. It is loving without being owned by what you love. The easiest way to begin is with language. Stop saying, I need X to be happy. Start saying, X makes life better, but does not define my life. That tiny sentence is scaffolding for the soul. Practical starter moves. Limit triggers that keep you dependent. Stop ruminating by setting short windows for worry. And practice gratitude that acknowledges gifts without idolizing them. Little disciplined acts build emotional muscle. Over time, your reflexes no longer panic. It's perspective. If you remove the false anchors, what do you replace them with? Not emptiness. Replace attachment with anchors that can bear loss, values that define you, service that stretches you, faith or convictions that hold while seasons change. The author argues that when your heart's deepest love is reserved for something unshakable, whether that's spiritual faith, a calling to serve, or a set of unbreakable principles, ordinary losses stop defining you. This doesn't make grief vanish. It changes grief into growth. It lets you carry loss and still stand. Here's what to do this week, not someday now. List 3 things that, if taken away, would make you feel like you'd lost yourself. Be honest. Ask the question, if this were gone tomorrow, who would remain? Name that person, shift one of those things from heart to hand, change the language you use about it, reduce your exposure to its triggers, and create a small ritual of release. Write it down and symbolically set it aside. Anchor at least 1 hour a week to something enduring. Reading that strengthens your values, volunteering, meditative practice, or a conversation that centers purpose over performance. Practice a weekly pause, a real 20-minute break where you check your internal weather without judgment. Notice where your heart tenses. These are the physical repetitions that rewire a wounded heart. They are not dramatic, they are steady. They rebuild from the inside out. You are not designed to be fragile because you lost a job, a person, or a reputation. You were designed to be resilient because you know how to reassign your trust. Reclaiming your heart is not about becoming empty or unmoved. It's about becoming alive in the right way. Love fully, grieve fiercely, but do not be owned. If this helped, tap like. It tells the algorithm to send this freedom to someone else carrying secret weight. Subscribe for more tight, practical scripts that turn reading into real change. Drop one thing you're ready to move from heart to hand in the comments. I'll personally read a few and reply with a concrete next step. Reclaim your heart. Reclaim your life.